It is 2 in the morning, and you are currently clinging to the absolute precipice of your own mattress. Your spine is twisted at a deeply unnatural angle. Your blanket has been entirely hijacked, and 78% of the available sleeping surface is currently occupied by a furry, snoring mass that weighs less than a third of your body weight. You might tell yourself they are just seeking warmth, or perhaps it is just a stubborn habit they picked up as a puppy. But you would be entirely wrong. What is happening right now on your bed is not a display of simple clinginess, nor is it a random preference for a soft pillow. It is a calculated multi-millennium neurochemical operation that traces its origins back to the dawn of human civilization. Your dog did not end up at the foot of your bed by accident tonight. They are executing a biological directive that is hardwired into the deepest recesses of their brain. And the reason they chose that exact spot reveals something about your relationship that you might have never suspected. To truly understand why your bed has become a canine sanctuary, we have to look at how a dog's brain processes the very concept of safety. Researchers at Eötvös Loránd University in Budapest decided to study this exact dynamic by observing how dogs behave when placed in unfamiliar environments. They utilized a famous psychological framework known as the Ainsworth-Strange situation, which was originally designed to measure the bond between human infants and their mothers. The test looks at 3 specific behaviors: proximity seeking, separation distress, and reunion calm. When the scientists analyzed the data, the results were staggering. They discovered that dogs relate to their owners in the exact same way a human toddler relates to a parent. Specifically, 61% of dogs display what psychologists call a secure attachment style, which is the precise mathematical ratio found in healthy human families. When your dog insists on pressing their body against yours while the world goes dark, they are not just looking for a comfortable place to rest. They are identifying you as their primary attachment figure, communicating through their physical presence that you are the single safest entity in their entire universe. This emotional security is not just an abstract feeling. It is driven by a potent, self-reinforcing chemical loop that rewrites the biology of both species in real time. A landmark study published in the journal Science, conducted by researchers at Asabu University in Japan, uncovered the exact molecular mechanism that anchors this bond. It centers around oxytocin, often referred to as the bonding molecule or the love hormone. The scientists discovered that when a dog looks into their owner's eyes, it triggers a massive spike of oxytocin in the owner's brain. But then, something extraordinary happens. When the owner looks back, that shared gaze causes the dog's oxytocin levels to skyrocket in response, creating a literal biofeedback loop of affection. To prove how unique this is, researchers tried the exact same experiment with wolves, even those raised by humans from birth. The wolf-human gaze yielded absolutely zero oxytocin increase. This chemical conversation belongs exclusively to you and your dog, and it intensifies dramatically when the lights go out. Just 10 minutes of close physical contact with your dog causes a sharp drop in cortisol, the primary stress hormone, inside both of your bodies. By climbing into your bed, your dog is actively regulating your nervous system, chemically preparing both of you for deep, restorative sleep. This neurochemical partnership did not evolve overnight. It was forged through 15,000 years of shared survival, long before the invention of agriculture, writing, or modern cities. Picture an ancient landscape where early humans gathered around flickering campfires, surrounded by a vast, pitch-black wilderness where apex predators ruled the night. Out there in the shadows, wolf silhouettes lurked, watching the flames. Over generations, the bravest of these animals crept closer, offering their unmatched senses as an early warning alarm system in exchange for scraps of meat. The depth of this ancient connection was beautifully illustrated at a 14,000-year-old burial site in Germany, where archaeologists discovered the remains of a young dog buried alongside two humans. Analysis of the dog's teeth revealed it had suffered from canine distemper, a severe and typically fatal disease, and had been carefully nursed through 5 distinct weeks of illness by its human companions before they all passed. This was not a working animal discarded when it became useless. It was a cherished member of the family. Geneticists have since discovered the biological reason for this intense devotion. Dogs carry specific genetic insertions on chromosome 6 that are completely absent in wolves. These specific genes are linked to extreme hypersociability, meaning humans did not just domesticate dogs for work. We literally rewrote their DNA so that they would biologically crave our presence above all else. Yet, this ancient genetic arrangement presents us with a fascinating modern contradiction that scientists refer to as the sleep paradox. Data compiled by the Mayo Clinic shows that, from a purely objective standpoint, having a dog in your bed actually secure and content when their dog sleeps in the room with them. The secret behind this paradox lies in a phenomenon called heart rate variability co-regulation. When a deeply bonded dog rests beside you, their breathing slows down and their nervous system begins to mimic your own. Through this physical proximity, your heart rates literally synchronize their rhythms, dropping you into a profound state of psychological safety that lowers your blood pressure. If you put an unfamiliar human or a stranger in that same bed, your body would remain on high alert. But your dog's familiar rhythm signals to your amygdala that the environment is entirely secure, allowing your brain to enter a deeper state of relaxation than you ever could achieve alone. Because this nightly ritual is rooted so deeply in their biology, any sudden shift in their behavior should be treated with immediate attention. If your dog has spent years occupying the center of your mattress and suddenly decides to sleep on the hard floor, in a distant corner, or under the bed, it is never a random choice. This shift serves as one of 2 urgent health warnings that every owner must understand. First, it can be a clear indicator of hidden physical pain. A sudden reluctance to jump onto the bed is often the very first detectable sign of canine arthritis, spinal discomfort, or joint deterioration that a dog will instinctively try to hide during the day. Second, if your dog is older, this shift can signal the onset of canine cognitive dysfunction, essentially dog dementia, which affects roughly 35% of dogs over the age of 8. This condition systematically destroys their spatial memory and disrupts their internal circadian rhythm, leaving them confused, disoriented, and unable to recognize their usual safe spaces when the sun goes down. Watching for these subtle behavioral shifts is the most compassionate way to protect the creature who relies entirely on you for their well-being. When you look down tonight and see your dog taking up almost the entire mattress, you are looking at the culmination of thousands of years of evolutionary history. They did not choose that spot because it was convenient, and they did not choose it just because the blankets are soft. Out of every sound in the neighborhood, every scent in the air, and every option available to them, their brain recognized your presence as the ultimate anchor of safety in a massive, unpredictable world. Drop a comment below and tell me, what percentage of the bed does your dog take up tonight? Because understanding how they sleep next to you is only the first step in decoding their secret language. And it turns out that the way they look at you when they are wide awake holds a secret that is even more mind-bending.